It's always going to be harder for you to go back and get what you left, what you abdicated. If you try and go back and get it, it will always take more this time to take hold of it. Why? Because the enemy has come in and he has taken hold of it, and he has brought 7 new ones for you to deal with. You swept it clean, but now you got 7 new. And just because it's new doesn't mean it's good. The enemy don't want your stuff. He knows that God has you set up to go to that place so that you can fight better from it. The enemy does not want your stuff. He wants no. There's nothing that he wants more than you not having it. He does not want your stuff. I said nobody was jealous of me because they didn't want what I had. I mean, I had 33 times my ceiling was damaged. 13 times my ceiling was broken completely that I had to clean up. My artwork was undone in everything. I was done in. I said she's not jealous. She doesn't want my artwork. She's not jealous of the way I live. She lives upstairs. The houses are the apartments are identical. She's not jealous. She wants me not to have it. You have to still walk around with a smile on your face because the enemy wants you not to have it. Shut your mouth when God tell you shut your mouth. But when you give God praise, open your mouth. When David encouraged himself, he did not do it silently. That's how Michael's Urim came to the window and started talking about him. And then we find out that she became barren. She couldn't have no kids because she ran her mouth. She wasn't the only wife; she was the first wife. Her son, whoever he was going to be, should have been the heir to the throne. Didn't happen that way. Because when she opened her mouth, she said the wrong thing. When those 10 spies opened up their mouth, they said the wrong thing, and then the people started spreading it. It's always easier to spread bad news than it is to spread good news. That's why the gospel has such a hard time getting through, right? In the mouths and the minds and the mouths of people, right? Because when you're spreading good news is a gospel is good news. You spread good news, it's always hard. Nobody wants to share something good. We're just walking all around the Bible today. When Jacob went and abdicated his throne to go and find, he made it hard for the Israelites to get back in a place. He put the Israelites in a state of homelessness. He was walking towards Egypt thinking he was going to get his son. But him walking towards Egypt is not, and me walking towards Egypt and not let my son walk towards me means that none of my other sons have a place to live. We are God's people. He's not going to let us live in the wilderness. We are God's people. He's not going to let us live in Egypt. That means slavery. We are God's people. God gave us the promised land, but everybody knows when we get up and leave, whatever we leave is blessed. So they want it. People want your entrails. They want the stuff that's the gum on the bottom of your shoe. They want it because they know it's blessed. They don't realize that they can have the blessing too. But because you don't tell them how to get the blessing, you just beat them in the face with a sword. They walk away thirsty and they come back mad, and then they try to beat you down. And the thing is, they know the size of your sword because you beat them with it. You showed your weapons. So when they come back ready for you. I don't have to hit you. I got words to make you doubt. Because when I came into you to get some help, you sent me out. Ten scouts. 2 scouts. 10 plus 2, 12 scouts. 12 scouts went in, 10 spies, and 2 scouts came out. Watch the word, it says it. It doesn't say 10 spies, 2 scouts came out. What it says is, he said he sent the scouts in. Moses sent in 12 scouts. Then the word says, when it came out, he asked them, and the spies, 10 spies said to him, the word calls them spies. What happened to make you switch? You were running away, who hindered you? They got in there saw giants. But what we know about the story is so funny to me. They went in and saw giants. We know that they had not put walls up yet. So everybody was walking in and out. We got the Jebusites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hittites, the Phibulites, the Giantites, the Ammonites, the Amorites. Everybody with eye. Now the Israelites is trying to come back. When they go into what was the promised land that Jacob advocated, what they find is everybody and giants. Your enemy never sees what you see when you look in the mirror. What they found were people and giants. What they came out and told them was people and giants. You cannot beat them. There are people and giants in there. If it's open and the city is open, they don't have gates, they don't have walls yet, right? Because they see you, now they're going to build the walls, right? But if the city is open, right, everybody was inside that city. Perizzites, Canaanites, Jebusites, nobody was afraid of anybody inside of there. Nobody was related. Nobody was kin. You are kin. Oh, nobody was afraid. Nobody had fear of anybody inside of there. It was a melted pot. But I know that the person standing next to me can't beat me. I will take him out. And they're coming in and out of the city freely. But when the Israelites walk in, whoa, and they put up walls. When God's people come in, whoa, and they put up walls. I said, why is it easy for people to believe the Muslim faith that don't make no sense whatsoever? It doesn't. I have friends that are Muslim. I told them. And we talk about the Bible. I'm talking about Quran. I ain't talking about more like Quran. We talk about their faith. I said, that's, did you hear what you just said? It's not stupid in a bad way, but it's just stupid in a ridiculous way. It's stupid in the way that women follow it. I don't think women are the basis of religion in general. If you don't have women, you have nothing. Who giving birth? The women are the producers, right? But the Muslim faith is so disrespectful to women. Jesus was so respectful to women. And the Muslim faith is so disrespectful. And then watch who you're talking about, because Jesus was not disrespectful to the prostitutes. As a matter of fact, he was just as kind to them as he was even to his own mama. Because both the prostitute and his mama was at the cross. They both named Mary. One sold herself out, right? Mary was just sold out. Mary sold herself out. As a matter of fact, no, they both sold themselves out. Because Mary was trying to run Jesus' life and run his ministry by telling him, hey, make wine. For people that I just don't feel it was supposed to have wine. If you go through the Bible, there's these evident pictures. For example, why was there only 6 pots? He went and told the man, put water in these pots. Why were there only 6 pots? These people are not supposed to have wine. That's just my contention, right? Because why was there only 6 pots for a wedding? If the 6 pots mattered, they would have been with the ones that were full. Somehow they went in, took out, because she came to them and said, they're out of wine. So somehow they went through what they had while these pots were sitting there. But Mary came to Jesus whining about wine when they needed living water. Mary sold herself out. Because she went to the man at the door. He said, woman, what's your concern have to do with me? That's not my time. Mary went to the door right there and said, do what he tells you to do. She was milking his ministry. He said it's not his time. But he was there. He was there to produce something. confident that when somebody asks Jesus for something, Jesus, if he does say no, like when he told the woman, he said, it's not meat for me to take children's bread and cast it to the dogs. There's a whole bunch of spiritual terms up in there, whole bunch. Basically called the woman a Gentile. And cast. It's a spiritual term. I'm not just casting this bread down to you, but I'm casting it down to something worse. Cast it down, right? He said, it's not meat for me to take the children's bread and cast it down to the dogs, right? Or cast it to the dogs. She said, yes, Lord, truth, Lord, but even the dogs eat crumbs that fall from the master's table. He called Gentile. Example, cast it down. Does not meat for me to take the cast it, right? He said no to her. Well, how did she handle it? That's why I said Mary sold the stuff out. How did the woman, she had the daughter had a vexed with demons, right? It's a Syrophoenician woman. How did she handle it? She answered to what he said, and then she answered him. She didn't go and talk to somebody else and tell them, make him do this. Lord, hear my daughter. It is not meat for me to take the children's bread and cast to the dogs. Yes, Lord. Truth, Lord. She said, truth, Lord. But even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from the master's table. We know when things are mentioned twice, it's a duplicate. When you say truth, Lord, you are double covenanting between you, him, and the truth. It's a double covenant. It's a marriage. So she said, truth, Lord. She's basically saying truth, truth. Truth, Lord. But even the dogs. She acknowledged him as who he was. That's why he said, Lord, Lord. Abraham, Abraham. Truth, Lord. Lord, Lord. Why didn't Mary answer her son instead of going to that man saying, what he does, whatever he tells you to do it. Jesus is the man, he's a guest in the house. If he's going to tell him to do anything, if he walks up to him and tell him to do anything, I doubt that he wouldn't do it. Does that man really need you, Mary, to insert yourself? When he says, what your concern has nothing to do with me, does that man that's in the door need you to insert yourself to say, if he tells you to do something, do it? And she didn't say, she said, whatever he tells you to do it. Meaning, I asked him and I'm going to get it. When you ask somebody for something, you don't go in betting, I'm going to get this. I asked my pastor for one thing that I remember in the beginning. And I was so scared. I don't even like to think about it. I can still get scared. I was so scared. Okay, he's fantastic in his decorum. He's fly, like my pastor's fly. Like Pastor David's just like, he's awesome. And he runs that church well. I was scared to ask him. Because I was going to go up to him and ask him. And I had to realize this. I mean, I've done this arrogantly. I've gone to him after that, asked him things. And he's looking like, what? You ask people with a forceful attitude, like, I'm going to get this. That's arrogant. And you asking me, it's mine. So it's mine to give. When's going to give it to you, right? But if you come to me and act with an arrogant attitude, you come at me like it belongs to you. If it belongs to you, then just do what you want to do with it. And I said with all my pastors, all of them, David Lewis especially. I need something from David Lewis. I'm so upset because they turned the lights down again, and I wanted to photograph what was on the stage. And I wanted to ask him about it. And I went to him, and he put his hand up. He put his finger up like, wait. I saw me mouth, wait. And I just thought, man, I did it again. This has been an ongoing lesson from him with me. Arrogancy. If you're asking me for something, don't assume that it's already yours. Because it's already yours, you don't have to ask for it. The Bible said, come boldly before the throne of grace, that you may obtain mercy. Mary came boldly before the throne of grace. He was sitting there. Her son was the throne of grace. She came boldly before the throne of grace, but was not humble enough to receive the mercy behind it. Woman, what does your concern have to do with me? It is not yet my time. She got two no's. But if you're smart, and inside of every no is a yes. It may not be a yes to what you are asking for. As a matter of fact, generally, it's definitely not a yes to what you are asking for. But when you ask humbly, every no is a yes. Woman, what does your concern have to do with me? It is not yet my time. Do you hear the yes? I hear the yes. He said, woman, what does your concern have to do with me? It is not yet my time. Can I have wine? No. But get closer to me. Can I have wine? No. But I'm living water, you see. Come, can I have wine? No. But I've got grace, love, mercy. After you ask God for something, right? His response is always mercy comes out of him, right? The Bible says, I'll come boldly before the throne of grace. I will obtain. Ephesians 4 says, God is mercy. He's one of the relinquish his mercy. Jesus' grace and God is mercy. If I come boldly before the throne of grace, then mercy will come from God. If you don't get mercy, you either answer the wrong thing or answer the wrong person. Jacob and his sons abdicated, right? And this is our last point. Jacob and his sons abdicated, because we at 2 hours right now. Jacob and his sons abdicated what was Jerusalem. It was Jerusalem before Jericho set in. But here's the thing, there was a famine in the land. And my contention is they pushed out the blessing that would have helped them with it. Joseph was supposed to be there with them to help them through it. But he didn't look like a blessing, he looked like a burden to them. So they pushed them out. So that's why when everybody else was starving, they were too. They were in the promised land. They were not supposed to leave it. They had everything they needed inside of the promised land. Stay in where you are at. Stay in the midst of where you are at. Because Jesus is always in the midst of the situation with you when you stay in it. And don't abdicate it. Joseph was a blessing and they called him a burden. So they sold him for 30. It's not the picture of 30. I said it's a deliverance, right? Deliverance issue. So it's a 30 or 20. But it was some coins. It was coins. It was coins. It was quam, right? We just might sold for silver, sold for bente, sold for 30, right? Jesus was sold for 30, sold out for 30. Joseph was sold for 30, and Samson. Samson snatched 30 garments, didn't he? By beating these people down. He's a judge. And so you're supposed to use your sword, your word, to help people. But instead of you doing that, you're taking your sword and you're not really making an influence, making an impact. Because he was beating single parties of people down. Here's 30 people, let me beat them down. Here's 30 people, let me beat them down. And then I'll go off to the side and I'm thirsty.